Hey, I got them starstruck. They watching my moves, I got them starstruck. Out here breaking the rules, I got them starstruck. I got nothing to lose, so I'm letting it loose. Out here paying my dues, I got them starstruck.
Welcome to Football Friday Night, Week 6. A pair of games Thursday night started us off, another one on Saturday, and of course a full slate tonight, although I really wish Mother Nature would have just picked rain or wind, not a ton of both.
Right. Yeah, that was not ideal, but the games went on, and we had several matchups between top teams in the MAC, NWCC, and the NWC.
And well, our first of the three first-place matchups features the top-ranked Marion Local Flyers traveling to 5-0 Versailles.
Number 4 in Division 5 Versailles. Number 1 in Division 7, Marion Local, undefeated against undefeated. The Tigers fell short to the Flyers last year by a missed extra point. Looking for revenge, of course, in the rain tonight. Bad punt by Versailles sets up Marion Local with a great field position here. Handoff goes right up the gut to Parker Hess. The senior trucks his way in. Flyers are up 7-0. A little deja vu now. Another bad punt sets up the Flyers, and it's guess who? Parker Hess. Another 1-yard score. Missed PAT, 13-0. Later in the second, Marion Local on 3rd and goal. Justin Knopf rolls out. Takes a hit as he throws a perfect ball to Victor Holscher in the end zone. Flyers are soaring now up 20-0. Also, Marion Local's defense did not allow a first down in the first half. Still in the second. Flyers on offense. Knopf calls his own number, hits the juke stick on a Tigers defender, and the senior takes this one all the way 87 yards for the touchdown. Mother Nature couldn't even slow down the defending champs. Marion Local wins their 54th in a row and finishes with their 3rd shutout of 2024, 48-0. Next up, number 2 Coldwater hosted a Parkway team that was looking for what would be a huge upset. Rainy night calls for a ground and pound as Coldwater's Miles Potcutter takes the handoff, muscles his way in for the score. The botched extra point, though, has the Cavs up 6-0. Potcutter now showing he can get it done on the defensive side of the ball as well as he sheds the block and gets the sack to force Parkway on the 3-and-out. That stops the stop leads there. A goal line touch for Braxton Taylor, and he'll go untouched on his way to the end zone, putting it at 13-0. Now in the second quarter, Cavs back in the red zone. Potcutter, 20-point lead, still plenty to play in the half as well, and the Cavs continue to play complementary football on both sides as they force another turnover with Ethan Elander recovering the fumble coming up, and Coldwater wins in dominant fashion. 48-0 is your final.
The New Bremen Cardinals attempt to snap a 2-game slide. Tonight, they host the Fort Recovery Indians, and the Indians are looking to end a 4-game losing streak of their own. At the start of the third quarter, Fort Recovery trails 14-6, and their defense comes up huge. Reese Wendo and Luke Wachtenfeld tag team on this sack, and they force the New Bremen 3-and-out. And on the Indians' next drive, here's Wendell on the run. The junior stays on his feet, and he will keep going. They move the chains for the Indians, and that will continue their drive. And the result of that play will lead to Kane Greasy connecting with fellow senior Gavin Evers for the TD. Fort Recovery now trails by 2 after the failed 2-point conversion. It's now 14-12. That's as close as the Indians will get. On 4th down, New Bremen's defense steps up. Rylan Boosie gets the sack, and the Cardinals hold on and win late, 14-12.
Also in the MAC, number 3 Minster at St. Henry. Wildcats hold on 12-7, while 10th ranked Anna travels to Delphos St. John's tomorrow to wrap up Week 6. Of course, we'll have highlights on Saturday.
All right, so now we go to the NWC, our second matchup of conference unbeatens, Lima Central Catholic and Bluffton, colliding for the first time since 2013, a rivalry renewed for our Spotlight game.
Tonight's Football Friday Night Spotlight game is brought to you by Norada Lanes.
Thunderbirds last in the NWC, they got the best of the Pirates. 9 straight wins for LCC dating back to 2004. That year was the last time Bluffton came in this matchup undefeated as they do tonight. Late second quarter, Pirates up 14-0. Tate Gieske pulls on the option. He's got room to run. Stutter step, the sophomore says count them. 1, 2, 3 rushing TDs in the first half to go along with 137 rush yards. 21-0 at the break. Pirates first snap of the third, they'll keep it chugging on the ground. Or will they? Landon Worcester's empty-handed, guys. Gieske finds wide open Griffin Stackhouse for a 55-yard pitch-and-catch touchdown on play action. Now 28-0. After the T-Birds' 3rd straight punt, Bluffton back in the red zone. This time, Worcester does take the handoff. A 14-yard pickup down inside the 5, and Gieske adds one more for good measure. Bootleg to the far sideline is his 4th and final rush TD. 35-0 Bluffton wins. 2nd shutout by the Pirate defense, allowing an average of 4 points a game this year.
Wow. Meanwhile, Columbus Grove and Allen East collides at Goodwin Field. The Bulldogs have won 7 of the last 10 meetings against the Mustangs, and they look to extend their winning streak to 6 straight games to open up the season. In the first, Kyle Hopkins hands it off to Trenton Barraza, and the senior Bulldog breaks away from several Mustangs. He will take the pigskin in for 30 yards. Grove gets on the board first. They lead by 7. After Allen East turns the ball over on downs, the Bulldogs look to strike again. Hopkins hits Trevin Baxter, and the junior brings it all the way to the 1-yard line, and Grove is in prime position to score. So who's going to do it? Well, it's none other than Trenton Barraza again. 1 yard later, and Grove goes on top by 14. But in the closing moments of the first, Allen East is in the red zone. Here's Jacob Pinks barreling his way home. The PAT is no good, and the Mustangs trail by 8. To the second quarter, it's still 14-6 CG, and Hopkins decides to run it back with Barraza. He takes the handoff, and 25 yards later, it's another Bulldog touchdown. 25 rushes, 308 yards, and 4 TDs for him. Grove comes away with a 38-13 victory.
What a game for him. NWC scores Crestviews right at the postseason cutoff in Region 22, a 36-0 win over Jefferson. Spencerville looked for their first conference win at Fort Laramie, but it's the Redskins doubling the Bearcats up 42-21. Northern Lakes League, Findlay wins their second straight, a 42-13 final over Springfield. On Northwest Ohio Athletic League, Patrick Henry improves to 5-1 via the 44-0 drubbing of Wauseon. A win there.
As for the hometown Spartans, well, undefeated Lima Senior hits the road for Game 2 of T-Cal play. Woodward has Ohio's longest active losing streak, 35 straight. The Spartans show him no mercy. Janias Hall dumps it off to Keon Smith. The 6'3" senior does the rest. 50-yard TD on the opening drive, 8-0 after the 2-point conversion. Next opportunity for the Spartans, Hall. This time it's Boog Wilson on the slant. 35 yards for the score. Make it 16-zip, and the foot is on the gas all first half for Lima Senior. This time Hall is going deep, and 66 yards down the field, he finds Khalik Wash. Juggling, secures it. It's a 49-0 halftime score on their way to a 56-zip win.
Had to add some intrigue bobbling that ball there, I guess.
Right.
Green Meadows Conference, Paulding's undefeated season is no longer. Fairview is a 21-19 winner. Wayne Trace beat Hicksville 12-0. Our Ayersville Pilots can't keep up with Edgerton 39-7, while Antwerp falls to Tenora 16-0. Coming up after our first break, we turn to the WBL, the BBC, the Three Rivers Conference, and the Central Buckeye Conference. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Your News Now Sports. It's Western Buckeye League time, including the 6th-ranked team in Division III, Wapakoneta.
The Redskins are 5-0, and they play host to a Shawnee team that's looking to end a 3-game losing streak.
Your News Now Sports, also football Friday night for those paying attention. After starting 2-0 in the year, here's me on a losing streak, just trying to get a steady shot of the Wapak Huddle, guys. Wind and rain.
Not fun.
Ruthless, just not comfortable. Wapak, though, comfortable throwing the ball in the wind and rain. Caleb Moyer drops back, leaves it for Jarrett Mullen on the screen. He eventually gets brought down at the 3-yard line. And then Moyer finishing the drive off, keeps it, fights into the end zone. A 7-0 lead with 2 minutes left in the first quarter. Now, Shawnee looks to respond on the ensuing kickoff. Jaron Bagley, he's back there receiving, bobbles it initially, but he gathers and he goes, making a couple of guys miss along the way down the sidelines. He gets to Wapak's 48-yard line, but Shawnee could not turn it into points. Now, the Indians were able to slow down Wapak in the first half. Kobe Bentz causes the fumble here. Wyatt McGinnis is there for the recovery. It's Shawnee football, but they slowed down Wapak in the first half. Wapak kept Shawnee at a stop the rest of the way out. The 6th-ranked Redskins went 28-0. They're 6-0 and alone in first place in the Western Buckeye League standings.
Oh, that's new.
Okay. Last season, Bath won their first game against Ottawa Glandorf in 20 years. Tonight, the Wildcats attempt to stay perfect in WBL play, while the Titans look to get back to 500. Spoiler alert. In the fourth quarter, OG is up 19-0. On fourth down, Payne Kuhlman hands off to Grant Evers for a 9-yard rush. That will move the chains for OG. Later in the drive, Evers takes the handoff, and he will take off 33 yards later, and the senior makes it 26-0 OG. Bath is still looking to get some offense going. Zach Welsh is trying to find an open target, and it's Mikey Hale who gets the pass. He will dodge a few Titans for a first down and more, and the Wildcats are set to score. They're just 4 yards away from a TD, but the snap gets by the QB, and it's Trevor Rump who recovers it. Another shutout tonight, guys. OG wins this one, 26-0.
Elsewhere in the Western Buckeye League, Elida looks to build off of their shootout with Bath. Salina looks to stay 1 game back of Wapak. At the end of the first, 0-0 still. Salina's Bobby Morris hands off to Caden Wertz. who gets to the 1 yard line here, just 1 yard out. Ball about slips out, but he is able to keep possession, you see at the end there. And they would finish off the drive on 4th and 1. John Lutz takes the handoff, attacks his way through the defense. Salina's up 7-0 later in the second quarter. Salinas Morris again with the quick handoff to Lutz, who bulldozes a defender, and he's running for 47 yards to make it 14-0 Salina. But back comes Elida. Amari Wash ends up with the ball here and squirts out of the center of everyone, and he has gone 70 yards. The Elida Bulldogs score 17 unanswered, stunning Salina 17-14 on homecoming. Salina falls to 3-2 in the WBL.
First WBL win for Elida.
Defiance wins their 4th straight with a 34-27 win over Kenton elsewhere in the WBL, while St. Mary's strings together back-to-back wins, 49-14 against Van Wert. Three Rivers Conference, Lehman Catholic tops Bethel 22-7. Riverside controls Troy Christian 29-0.
Man, chaos in the WBL. Let's go to the BVC. Two teams are still unbeaten in this conference, and one of them's been flying sky high as of late. After Liberty Benton's rude awakening from Columbus Grove, the Eagles have outscored their last 3 foes by 120. As for Arlington, their only win over LB in the last 20 meetings 2 years ago in a landmark upset on their way to finishing conference runner-up. Guys, in conditions like this, it's all about the offensive line, and LB's is in full control on the opening drive. Zach Elkert punches it in after 9 plays, 45 yards, all of them on the ground. LB now immediately back in control after a forced fumble. They decide it's time to air it out, but the Eagles' first pass attempt is tipped and picked off by Hunter Rosh. Gets some good yardage on the return, however, ensuing Red Devil drive stalls. So Arlington lining up for their second punt, and check out the airtime from LB's Asher Norman. Sophomore gets his hand on it and sets his team up in plus territory. They march right back down to the goal line and punch it in again. This time, junior Austin Collard. Eagles 14-0 now. Late in the first half, now quarterback Trevin Lee is settling in. He fakes the give, and with a perfect pocket, chucks one deep to a wide open Braden Lemire. 21-0 at halftime. LB pitches a shutout, 28-0. And making our way down the standings, Macomb coming off a gut punch upset loss to the Ada Bulldogs. They've got to turn things around against 3-2 Van Buren, but the Panthers having won the last 8 meetings. First quarter, guys, as we've seen, the conditions not making it easy in the passing game. Nope. Grady Mason drops back, throws, picked off by Macomb senior Hayden Ebright, but the Panthers come up empty-handed. So next Black Knights opportunity, they opt to run the ball, but it slips out of Mason's hands and is recovered by Trace Bryant. Macomb going the other way. Now, Grady Schrader takes the snap. Quick release, but that ball slippery, intercepted by Brady Lance for Van Buren. The Knights also not able to capitalize on the turnover. We're still scoreless late in the first half, but Schrader, this time, opts to take it himself, fighting off a big hit, still finds his way to the end zone. Guys, that's the only TD of this game. Wow. Macomb wins a muddy slugfest 7-3.
Not able to capitalize. Story of the night. BVC scores elsewhere. Pandora Gilboa stays undefeated in league 34 over Elmwood. Central Buckeye Conference. Bell Fountain with OSU commit Tavian St. Clair weren't enough for London, 51-6. Benjamin Logan falls 22-0 to Northwestern. Graham Local at Indian Lake went to overtime. Lakers win it 13-7. All right, coming up after the break, a top matchup in the NWCC. Highlights and scores straight ahead. Welcome back to Football Friday night for the final time. It's our third matchup, Tony, between two top teams, and this time we go to the Northwest Central Conference.
Absolutely. Upper Scioto Valley is 4-0 in conference play. Tonight, they take on Ridgemont, who is 3-0.
Also, Hard Northern, the other undefeated. But let's go to Ridgemont, where, shocker, it's raining. And it was terrible. Another defensive battle. Terrible weather, not terrible football. In the first, USV's Maddox Underwood manages an interception. Nice little return as well, but the Rams can't capitalize. In the second, it's Ridgemont's turn. Upper's quarterback can't hang on. A scrum ensues, and Ridgemont gets the turnover, but it also goes nowhere. Finally, a little under 5 minutes left in the game. Rams get the ball, get a drive going. The handoff to Ryan Roberts. He scores to make it 6-0 with under 5 minutes left to play, and USV somehow wins this game 20-0.
Unbelievable. Well, meanwhile, Perry is eyeing their first conference win of the season as they take on North Baltimore.
Here we go.
Here we go. There we go. Well, last year's meeting between the two saw the Commodores come out on top, 14-6. In the second half, Perry is up 27-0. North Baltimore is in the red zone, but the Commodores' defense is on point tonight. Caden Moore stops this Tiger in his tracks, and North Baltimore did not score on this drive. Later in the half, the Tigers have the ball back. They look for an aerial approach, but that ain't it, Chief. Diego Williams intercepts the pass, and the Commodores take over. A little over 5 minutes left in the game. Check out this play, guys. Hunter Scott hits Kamari Glenn with the pass. Glenn heads down the sidelines. He gets the first down and more, and almost got my legs taken out on this play. But hey, I learned from the last 2 seasons.
The Tony special.
Did you?
Yeah. Anyways, later in the drive, Scott will hand it off to Boss Horson, and he shows them who's boss. Nice. Perry gets win number 3 of the season with a 34-0 shutout.
Rest of the NWCC, Waynesfield Goshen keeps Corey Ross and winless in league play. 24-0 shutout, big get-back win for WG. Hardin Northern will stay on the top of the conference alongside USB. 42-0 over Ridgedale. Miami Valley League, Sydney beats up on Greenville 43-6. And finally, our independent, Van Loo, falling to North Central 63-8.
All right, that'll do it for Football Friday night, but Week 6 wraps up tomorrow, remember, when Anna travels to St. John's. But that is a wrap on this wet and windy Friday. For Tony Quach and Dylan Tyson, I'm Adam Solomon, and we'll see you next week for more Football Friday night.